Tim Ryan with Joe Theismann here at Anaheim Stadium. And Joe, of course, in L.A., everybody's still talking about Eric Dickerson being gone. And, of course, they have Charles White as a fill-in, not a bad fill-in, a former Heisman Trophy winner. But this week, everybody will be looking at Greg Bell.
That's right. Greg Bell, of course, acquired in the trade with Buffalo. And that's sort of a roundabout way he got here. But he's going to be a very important part of this offense. Charles White, leading rusher in the NFC. It's a little bit misleading because he played during the replacement games. But Greg Bell is going to play today, and don't be surprised if he carries the ball or they try and get the ball to him right away in this football game.
Of course, the Saints have Ruben Mays and Dalton Hilliard, so both coaches talking about stopping the run. That means a little pressure on those two young quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, a little pressure on Bobby Hebert and Jim Everett. Both Hebert and Everett are very young, very new to the National Football League. Here's two guys who are really in their rookie season. With both coaches making an emphasis on trying to stop the running game this afternoon, I'll guarantee you that the load's going to fall on Everett and Hebert, and which one can handle the pressure and the passing game is going to make a difference in the football game.
Well, it is a beautiful afternoon here in Los Angeles after several days of rain earlier in the week. It's 64 degrees, light winds, forecast hazy. Right now, bright and sunny here at Anaheim Stadium. Mike Lansford will be kicking off for the Rams. The Saints will receive to our right. And, Joe, I know you were down on the field there and perhaps are a little surprised to see this young man kicking off.
Well, I had a chance to visit with Mike Lansford. Actually, I talked to the special teams coach of the Rams, and he said that Lansford is bothered by a back problem. The sciatic nerve seems to be acting up, has since Friday, so we'll have to see how his kicking goes in the game.
So the barefooter hits a line drive, and it'll be taken at the 10-yard line by Mel Gray. Gray hit hard just over the 20, got to about the 23-yard line. And so the New Orleans Saints coming off a 38-0 win last week over Detroit, feeling pretty good about themselves after their disappointing defeat at the hands of San Francisco the week before. You're looking at Bobby Hebert, and he will be facing this Rams defense. Doug Reed, Greg Meisner, and Reggie Doss. Doss in for the injured Sean Miller. Owens, Eckern, Collins, and Wilcher. Collins a leading tackler. Mickey Sutton in the spot normally occupied by Leroy Irvin, who is under suspension by Coach John Robinson after missing a practice last week in a contract dispute. Ruben Mays opens things for the Saints and gets to the 30-yard line for a pickup of about 7 yards. Johnny Johnson made the stop. Ruben Mays, the young man from North Battleford, Saskatchewan, and Washington State. We've got a fight going on down here on the very first play of the game. So emotions are running high before the boys even get a sweat worked up out there.
That's one way to work up a sweat.
Mike Jones in the middle of it, not one of the big guys on the Saints team, but he had some protection there from Stan Brock. Offensively for New Orleans, Jim Dombrowski, essentially a rookie at left tackle, and what is now quickly becoming a strong offensive unit. Steve Trapillo, a rookie at right guard from Boston College. Ruben Mays, Barry Word from Virginia, the fullback, Martin Jones, and Brenner, the receivers. So no penalties assessed after the scuffle. Mays and Mel Gray are in the backfield on 2nd and 3. Gray in motion. Ruben Mays, big hole up the middle. Into Rams territory. First down, New Orleans at the Los Angeles 48-yard line. Mickey Sutton, the last man, got him.
Well, you're going to see Ruben Mays go right up the gut. They put Gray in motion out to the right of your screen. Bobby Hebert just turns around. Excellent job by the center of the line. Dombrowski comes around, gets a hit on the middle linebacker. Poor tackling up front. That's what happens. Newsome and Johnny Gray both miss Ruben Mays. That's the one thing that John Robinson, among other things, has been concerned with, is finishing the play. And finishing the play means tackling the runners.
A 20-yard gain. They spotted at midfield. Mike Jones in motion. Mays. Nowhere this time. Maybe a half yard. Jim Collins, the linebacker, number 50, the leading tackler. He had spent last year on injured reserve. Made the stop. Philadelphia leading Washington in a squeaker in the 4th period, and St. Louis ahead of Tampa Bay. Look at this one. Minnesota beating up on the Raiders in the 4th quarter. And a squeaker there. Green Bay ahead of Chicago.
Hold your breath. Jimmy Mack's not done yet, I'm sure.
Cleveland walloped Atlanta. The poor Falcons take another drubbing. 2nd down and 10. No gain on the last play. Hebert gets lots of time. Now flushed out. Downfield to Jones, who makes the catch at the 20-yard line. Beautiful piece of improvisation there, both by Hebert and great reaction by Jones.
Well, that's the big thing. When you get a quarterback who has the ability to move around and buy time, it just creates such a problem for the defensive secondary. You see Hebert go back in the pocket. Now, they've got the receivers covered. Sutton's in good coverage now. The defense has forced Hebert to run. And this is the biggest problem when you get a guy moving around. This is just some great execution. Mickey Sutton didn't see the ball coming. Winds up with a great catch by Jones.
Jones, a former Minnesota Viking, gives him a 30-yard gain and a first down inside the 20. Ruben Mays is stacked up after a gain of about a yard. Meissner, the nose tackle, Reed, the defensive end, on the hit. San Diego over the Colts today, 16-13, and San Diego continues to roll. They're now 7-1. Buffalo on top of Denver. The Broncos struggling some. And Pittsburgh.
I've given up trying to figure out what goes on in the National Football League anymore.
You're not kidding.
You know, teams that, it's like the whole, since the strike, everything has taken a reversal. The teams that you expected to win haven't. The ones that you didn't think would be so good are doing very well.
2nd and 10. New Orleans inside the Rams 20. Opening offensive series. Mays, another big hole up the middle. He stumbled on his own that time. Scrambled ahead for about 5.
Well, Joel Hilgenberg is doing a great job on Greg Meissner up the middle. They're taking the nose man where he wants to go, putting a lot of pressure on Collins and Eckern right in the middle. And that's really where you wouldn't expect Ruben Mays to run. He's got 4.35 speed. He likes to run outside, but they're running right at the heart of the Rams defense.
Well, there are the results for New Orleans inside the 20. That's about perfect. And they're at the 15-yard line, 3rd down, about 6. Shotgun Hebert directing traffic with a long count. May have changed something up. Into the end zone, overthrows Mel Gray, the intended receiver, number 37.
Oh, and Bobby Hebert is mad at himself. He knows he had Gray running right through the defense wide open. That's, again, I think it's a classic case. We talked about how young he is in the game. You got to learn to put a little more air under the ball, throw it a little more up and down instead of on a line. And that's one of those cases where he could have let Mel Gray run under the ball as opposed to try and drill it to him.
27-year-old quarterback, but in his first real full season in the NFL, a big success in the USFL. But as Joe pointed out, really still learning this NFL game and getting some time with the offense. Field goal try by Morton Anderson, and he routines that one for a 3-0 New Orleans lead. Anderson was headed to the sideline before the ball went over the crossbar. Larry, I'm going to give you a sparse crowd comment fairly quickly. Check. Field goal by Morton Anderson. San Diego defeated Indianapolis 16-13. Eric Dickerson carried the ball 35 times for 138 yards in a losing cause. And John Robinson, no doubt, will not be happy about seeing those figures with a Colts banner underneath him. The kickoff taken in the end zone by Ron Brown, and he will not bring it out.
You know, Tim, that just proves a point, though. This is the ultimate team game, and with Eric Dickerson now in Indianapolis, you've got Jim Everett carrying the load, and it's going to take a total team effort for them to be successful.
He will be facing this New Orleans defensive line, Clark Elliott and Wilkes. And the linebackers, they are very fast, becoming one of the respected linebacking corps in the league. Watch Pat Swilling, the youngster on the right side. Waymer, Jakes, Gibson, and Maxey, a somewhat shuffled up New Orleans secondary. They released veteran Frank Watliff this past week. Greg Bell is starting for the Rams. passing on first down, and it is complete to Henry Ellard. An 11-yard pickup for the Rams and a quick first down. And Everett has Charles White, turned out to be Greg Bell in there with Mike Gooman, Ellard, Brown, and Hill, the receivers. Big offensive line. And at right guard, Dennis Harrah out with a back injury. A third-year man, pardon me, Duval Love out of UCLA as the starter there. Now Charles White has come in at running back for the Rams on first down at their own 32. Everett, quick pass again, complete. 5-yard gain to Henry Ellard, and a swarm of Saints push him back a couple of yards.
There he is. There's Jim McMahon. I guarantee somehow or other I know Jim McMahon's involved.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Fuller is in there. No.
You're right. Cincinnati up on Miami. Cincinnati's been troubled with losing games in the fourth quarter. Maybe they can shake that. Of course, Miami with Dan Marino, you can't count him out at any point.
It's a 24-yard field goal by Kevin Butler of the Bears, who has them on top by 2 against Green Bay. Second down and 5 for the Rams. Bell. Good coverage by the Saints. They were waiting for that one. And Dave Waymer, along with linebacker Ricky Jackson, held him to a gain of maybe 2.
If you were to tell anybody who's watched the Los Angeles Rams for a while that they would come out in their first 3 plays and throw the ball, they would ask, who is the coach? It's not John Robinson, is it? Absolutely. What has happened now is you see Ellard and Brown and Bell and Everett, everybody getting involved in offense. No longer are the Los Angeles Rams a singularly dimensioned offense. By that I mean they just don't run the ball.
I know what you meant by that.
Sure, I just wanted to make it a little clear.
Third down and 6. There was no gain on that last play. Everett, under pressure, gets it off to Bell, and it was broken up by the linebacker covering Vaughn Johnson, number 53, a USFL refugee that Archie Manning, the great former quarterback of the Saints, is now a radio commentator for the team, just told me before the game, he said, watch this guy. He said, I really like him. He might develop into one of the top linebackers in the league.
They really think so. You know, Vaughn Johnson, of course, Mel Gray, both picked in the supplemental draft, and Bum Phillips is the man that managed to secure both of those drafts.
Dale Hatcher standing to punt it for the Rams from the 25. Mel Gray, the deep man. Good punt by Hatcher to the 15. Gray got to about the 24, and a hard-hitting, low-diving tackle, and again a scuffle. Oh, bunch of guys. Kevin Green of the Rams in the middle of it. And a flag down for this rough play. Joe Colbrand, linebacker number 55, in the middle of it for the Saints. A 49-yard punt, meanwhile, for Dale Hatcher.
There you see Gray. Now, it's just a great job of closing. The special teams have always been a strong point for the Rams. New Orleans very conscious of it, trying to set up the wall. Now, here comes the low flying tackle.
Conduct on number 91. Defense has a 15-yard penalty. Has a timeout.
Well, there's the scuffle. Green is in the middle of it. Colbrand and Tim Terrell of the Rams, number 32. A timeout on the field. Videotape John Robinson upset about the penalty assessed in that scuffle, discussing it with referee Ben Bryce, field judge Dick Dolek, and back judge, Al Jury. And it moved the ball all the way up to the 40-yard line.
That's a lot like a basketball game. The coaches have to work the refs a little bit to let them know that they're in the game too.
You have to be impressed with the emotion displayed by the Rams. A lot of people thought, you know, they're just going to lie down the rest of the season in the wake of the Dickerson deal, but they're fired up today. Hebert on first down, play action. He's got Mel Gray, and it is intercepted. Number 25, Jerry Gray. All the way to the Rams' 48-yard line.
That's the thing I tried to point out a little bit earlier on Bobby Hebert's last pass when he tried to hit Mel Gray in the end zone. He's still young. He's only really played a year in the National Football League. You'll see the play action fake to Ruben Mays. It's going to hold the entire defense of the Rams. He gets out scot-free. Now he sets, and instead of putting the ball up in an arch, he tries to throw it flat. And you just can't throw the ball flat because everybody in the secondary's got speed. Jerry Gray picking that one off.
Jerry Gray, a Pro Bowler a year ago with a big play for L.A. This is Charles White for about 6, maybe 7 on the play. There's Gray, number 25.
There you see Gray make his move, or excuse me, Gray make his move on Gray.
And now the ball, see how he slows down a little bit? The ball's coming in flat. You got to bring it in an arch. You got to almost drop it like you drop a basketball into a basket. You got to shoot it, let it come down. That's one of the things he's going to have to learn.
So Charles Gray has the Rams' possession. Jerry Gray, not Charles Gray, 2nd and 3. Everett trying to get the screen off. He does. Tight end Damone Johnson got only a yard. It'll leave 3rd and about 2 yards to go in New Orleans territory. And St. Louis beat the Buccaneers today. Almost have to feel good about the win by the Cardinals for Gene Stallings. They've really been struggling. And an upset Buffalo over Denver.
Buffalo, you know, with Cornelius Bennett, they said he was going to play today. Don't know how much.
This game is just underway here out on the West Coast, and we'll be watching that one closely. Obviously, Houston, a team on the rise, much like the Saints. And the 49ers atop the NFC West. 6-1. Charles White trying for the first down, and it appears he has it at the 40-yard line of New Orleans. Charles White.
That's a little bit of your classic student body left, like Coach Robinson used to run when he was at Southern California. Just pitch the ball to Charles White and let him turn up inside. Turnovers haven't really produced much for the Rams. There you see they've taken the ball away 13 times, only gotten 26 points. Conversely, they've given it up 19 and given up 58 points. So they need to capitalize on this opportunity, as they haven't.
Charles White again running behind Gooman. Takes it outside. The linebacker Pat Swilling tripped him up, but a good effort by White picks up 4.
You know, we had a chance to visit with Pat Swilling, who Jim Mora thinks is a heck of a football player. They really think he's going to be a guy to really do a job for him. They don't believe that Charles White is an outside runner. He runs from tackle to tackle. He wants to pound away. He picks up 5-6 yards. And Coach Robinson also feels like he's the kind of guy, the more times you hit him, the stronger he gets.
So the idea for Swilling, and on the left side, Ricky Jackson, is to keep him inside.
They want to keep him inside, right.
2nd down. It's a 5-yard pickup for him. 2nd and 5. White goes right straight ahead, gets a couple of more. You know, you had to admire his attitude, and we talked with him in practice on Friday. We see Washington in a 3-point lead over the Eagles in the 4th quarter. Big game in the NFC East. Jay Schrader to Gary Clark for the touchdown, and Minnesota really whipped up on the Raiders. We got to see some of that one out here, and Minnesota still very much alive in the wild card.
Of course, all the New Orleans fans interested in that. See how it's going.
There's Jim Mora, who...
Would you say intense would be a good way to describe him?
I'd say so do his players.
Yeah, that's right.
Businesslike is when they're talking kindly. They call him businesslike. Short drop by Everett and incomplete. What a hit on the tight end Damone. And it was Brett Maxey, the free safety number 39. Went right for the ball and took Damone with him.
Well, that was a classic case of what's called in the offensive system of the Rams a pop. He's supposed to hit the tight end 1 or 2 off the line, and he let the tight end get a little further downfield than he should have and threw it late. But this is a big decision by John Robinson. He figures, what's my football team got to lose? We're looking to build character. We've got to make something happen. Let's go for it on 4th down.
It was 4th and 3, and Damone Johnson came out of that huddle a little bit slowly, but he's on the wing to block, and he's now in motion. Charles White, flags everywhere, stopped short of the 1st down. Johnson and Mills, the inside linebackers, both there with a hit. Now, were they early or were they drawn? Sam Mills, 5'9", 225-pound linebacker.
Offense holding number 86. They decline the penalty, take the ball, and it's 1st down.
Damone Johnson, number 86, charged with the holding, and naturally declined by New Orleans. They will take over at the 32. We'll return to Anaheim Stadium with the Saints on top. 3-0.
Vaughn Johnson. Now, as Charles White starts to the right, they mirror his movement. Duval Love does not get the block on Mills, and Vaughn Johnson sticks Charles White. Some great linebacker. Mills is only 5'9".
1st down, New Orleans at their own 32. And Ruben Mays, again, a good hole running behind Steve Trapillo, and the center, Joel Hilgenberg, finds a gain of about 7. Johnny Johnson made the stop.
There you see, you know, Duval Love on that last one had the opportunity to make the block. Getting some good advice. It's Dennis Hara giving him, saying, look, you know, you got to come around, you got to get below. It's tough to get underneath a guy 5'9", but that's what he has to do. He has to get down underneath him and try and route him out.
Dennis Hara, the great veteran guard, out of action with a back injury. Second down and about 1.5 yards. Mays again, and Mays will be close to the first down, depending on the spot. Mel Owens made the tackle, number 58. He had 8 tackles against the Niners last week for the Rams. And it is first down, New Orleans. Time winding down here in the first quarter. The Saints with a 3-0 lead.
You know, with Dalton Hilliard and Ruben Mays, the Saints have got really a great 1-2 punch in the secondary, or in their running backfield. Of course, Dalton Hilliard, a quick one. Ruben Mays at 4'3". They've got 2 explosive backs, and that third-round pick, Barry Word, has really helped them a lot.
Hilliard in the backfield now on first down, and the pass out to Hilliard. He drops the ball, incomplete. Hilliard considered a little better pass receiver than Ruben Mays, and you will sometimes see him on third downs. Here they got him in and threw to him on first down. Word goes out. Extra wide receiver comes in. And then John Tice comes in at tight end, number 82.
Rams make their substitutions.
2nd and 10.
Bring in Gary Jeter, designated pass rusher.
Pitch shot for the short side. Ruben Mays trying to get wide. Good defensive play by the Rams. Greg Meissner, the nose tackle, ranging over. Got Mays from behind and held him to a gain of about 2.
And, you know, he's 6'3", 265 pounds. Been in the game 8 years. He's been blocked by everybody from everywhere. Denver, of course, losing to Buffalo. Pittsburgh now up on Kansas City. Actually, that's the final. And Detroit is ahead of Dallas. Like I said, can you figure anything out?
Well, not after the strike season. 4 wide receivers in on 3rd and 9. Rams dropped 1 defensive back way back. Hebert hits his man. That's Eric Martin, and a first down, New Orleans to the 38. Mickey Sutton, number 49, on the tackle. He's the young man out of the University of Montana and the USFL, currently occupying Leroy Irvin's spot on the right corner.
And I spoke to John Robinson on the field before the game, and he is hopeful that they will get Leroy Irvin back in uniform next week. Hopefully this whole situation of his problems with money or whatever, his injuries, will be over with, and they can get him back in uniform.
Irvin currently under suspension for this week, but obviously having not traded him, they hope to get him back playing for the Rams. First down, New Orleans. This is Hilliard. Hilliard gets maybe 1 yard at most, tripped up by Jim Collins.
You know, that's one of those plays, that's the old counter trey we used to run at Washington, where you start your back to the right, you bring Trapello and Brock, the right guard and right tackle, to the left, try and kick out the ends and let them turn up inside. With Dalton Hilliard's speed and Ruben Mays' speed, it's an excellent play because everything is cut up and run inside.
You see Green Bay has gone back on top of the Bears by a point. So a field goal there by Bob Del Greco, Al Del Greco that should be. 2nd down and 10. Hebert in the middle, wide open, Hilliard. Nice move by Hilliard, breaking tackles. He'll score, touchdown. Dalton Hilliard, the second man out of LSU, their number 2 choice a year ago. Wide open when he caught the ball, Joe, and then ran through people.
Well, New Orleans is doing the right thing. The Rams are a zone defense. That means that the linebacker, you see the linebacker Collins get back in his drop. Hebert just dumps it off, and that should be a 7, 8, 9 yard gain. Now here he gets, Johnny Johnson misses him, Mickey Sutton misses him, and the rest of the Ram defense just misses him. I mean, it's a great individual effort by Dalton Hill and some terrible execution of tackling by the Rams defense.
Morton Anderson for the point after, and the New Orleans Saints have jumped on top of the Rams in the first period.
10-0. Right in the middle, Jim Collins on your left of your screen, Carl Eckern on the right. As the receiver goes in motion, watch him drop back into their zone coverage. See how they flush back out? Now, as a quarterback, you just want to dump the ball to your back. That should be a 10-yard gain right there. Newsom misses him, Sutton misses him, and he winds up running in the end zone. That's great running by Dalton Hilliard. That's a 6-yard pass that turns into a 38-yard touchdown.
And they went 68 yards in 7 plays, used up 3:40 on the clock for their 10-0 lead. The Saints over the Rams. Ron Brown taking the kickoff deep in the end zone. Again, no opportunity to bring it out. Anderson has pounded 2 of them way back near the end line.
The best way to keep your world-class sprinters out of a ball game is to keep kicking it deep in the end zone so they can't get involved.
Well, the Rams struggling here early, and you can see they have yet to win a game along with Detroit. The regulars are the 2 winless teams of regulars in the NFL. And right now, Detroit up on top of Dallas by 3, but it's early in that game.
This could be the most important series for the Rams this year. Not in this game, but this year. Give Jim Everett a chance to get his confidence back.
And they made a good play to David Hill for a first down out to the 42-yard line. David Hill, one of those who was immediately sympathetic to the cause of Eric Dickerson during his dispute with the Rams, and was quite outspoken about thinking that the Rams should have made their man happy and prevented him from leaving.
Well, and you develop friendships. Having a chance to visit with him on Friday, you can understand one man's feeling about the other. He's going to go out and do a great job as a football player, but still he misses a friend.
First down, Rams. This is Charles White. White runs into traffic at the line of scrimmage. A tough hit on him by Sam Mills, and a gain of maybe 2 at the most.
Well, what they're doing is they're forcing Charles White to go outside. They want to stuff. That's the word I was looking for. Stuff up the middle, force him outside because he doesn't have the great speed, and he's really not going to hurt you out there. But the little guy, Sam Mills, managing to run him down.
White gets a breather.
That's amazing. 5'9", the Spud Webb of football. And he can stuff people, too.
It is second down and 9. Everett has lots of time trying to find an open man, and it's dropped by Ellard. Ball was there as Everett did a good job, and Ellard did a good job of shaking loose late, but then he dropped the ball, and the Bluebirds are out here at Anaheim. This stadium seats 69,000, but there were 15,000 unsold tickets on Thursday.
Well, there it is. My gosh, what else can I have to do? This is not the first game that he's had this problem. Last week, they feel like in the San Francisco game, he had 10 passes dropped. It's a young quarterback struggling, and I'm sure Henry Ellard wants to make a play for him. A lot of times you press a little too much. You got to relax and just play ball, but Everett doing what he has to.
Third down and 9. They keep the backs in, and that's incomplete. Ellard, the intended receiver, went inside, and Everett threw it outside, so the Rams will have to punt.
Yeah, they can't let it bother them. New Orleans doing a good job of putting pressure on them, and the Rams just simply not executing.
Dale Hatcher into punt. Mel Gray back to receive. From the 32, high punt. Bearcat at the 10. So the Saints will have the ball at their 10-yard line when play resumes. A 47-yard punt. John Robinson,
he's scratching his head with due reason. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
You can see that record speaks for itself. This is something he's not used to, the struggles that have gone on this year. Of course, all the coaches having to deal with the strike season, and then all of a sudden the Eric Dickerson mess.
You talk to John Robinson. He's not a coach who gets involved in offense and defense. He's an atmosphere coach, and right now he's looking for that right chemistry, that right atmosphere for his ball club. And it's one of those puzzles that just is escaping him.
First down, New Orleans. They lead 10-0. Mays. Good defensive play by the Rams. Mays told us he prefers to run outside there, but the Rams knew that, and Collins and Gray. And a lot of empty seats here today. I bet there were no empty seats in Green Bay, where the Bears came from behind again. 4 seconds left. Kevin Butler, a 52-yarder for the victory. And now the Bears are at 7-1. Tampa Bay and Minnesota right behind. Minnesota beating the Raiders today.
Jimmy Mack said he'd be back, and he is.
Second down and 8, New Orleans here at Anaheim. Now moving left to right, Dalton Hilliard gets a couple out near the 15-yard line. Doss is there, number 71 for the Rams, on the tackle.
This is developing into one of those inter-franchise operations where there's not a lot of good blood. We've had 2 or 3 scuffles. There you saw again Carl Eckern. He's not happy with somebody holding him. Of course, defensive guys always think an offensive guy is holding him. He got all excited.
And Brock was the man he was accusing of that heinous crime. Third down and long 5, we'll call it.
That's what a quarterback looks at when he's in the shotgun.
Hebert starts Ray in motion. Hits the tight end Brenner. Brenner is close to the first down. You could see him look at the marker with a man on him, and he was trying to reach the spot. Vince Newsom, number 22, and Clifford Hicks in on the right corner now, replacing Sutton, number 28, combining on the tackle, and they will measure this one.
I'm not going to take a guess on this. Usually I do, but I'm not going to make a guess.
Well,
not educated or uneducated.
I think they gave him a good spot, and they're going to have a first down.
I agree with you. Wait a second. Yes, I do. You've got to roll that ball over.
First down, Saints. And Philadelphia over the Washington Redskins this afternoon, 31-27. The way the scores were coming in that game, it must have been a dandy. And Detroit on top of Dallas in the first period.
Detroit finding itself. Of course, the Redskins have pulled out a lot of games late this year, and the Eagles have been an improving ball club, so that's going to throw a little spice into that NFC Eastern race.
Philadelphia moves to 4-4, Washington to 6-2. First down, New Orleans here at Anaheim. Ruben Mays dances past one defender who was in the backfield, and then was stopped by Collins and Newsom. Got maybe 2 yards on the play.
The Rams playing the kind of defense they've played year in and year out. I've had a chance to play at Anaheim here a couple times, and when you go up against the Ram defense, they're definitely going to let you pick up 5, 6, 7 yards, believing, if you can, that you're not going to be patient enough to take a ball and drive it 85 yards on it. They'll make a big play, as we saw Jerry Gray make on the big pass reception.
Second and 8, New Orleans. Mays with 49 yards already, had 112 last week against Detroit. Play action by Hebert, and he gets away from the rush of Gary Jeter. Hebert running well, has some room. Out of bounds at the 42-yard line, pushed out by Jerry Gray, and the Boo Birds out again. 19 yards on the scramble by Bobby Hebert.
Well, there we saw what a mobile quarterback can do for you. You see Jeter come right around the corner on Dombrowski pulling on a bootleg. Jeter's not fooled. He's got him now. Some people might say, well, he's in the grafts. Not really. They let the quarterbacks run. There again, he breaks loose. That guy benches 340. I don't have a bench in my house that weighs 340.
Yeah, in fact, it was interesting when you asked him, what do you think of your assets? And the first thing he said was my physical ability and strength. That was an interesting response from a quarterback.
Yeah, you never get that from a quarterback.
On first down, Mays gets about a yard.
What do you mean?
And the nose tackle, 69, Meisner made the tackle.
What do you mean it was an interesting response? Are you saying quarterbacks aren't physical?
Well, no. What I was saying is most of the time, if they were kidding themselves or being honest, hopefully, they'd say, oh, I got a great arm.
Well,
that's my biggest asset. Or I'm the smartest guy out there.
Well,
I mean, if I had asked you the same question, those are the two answers I would have gotten.
I would say none of the above.
It's 2nd and 9.
Jim Everett up. Now he's on the phone upstairs to Dick Corey and Ernie Zampese, who are the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, trying to get a grasp on how to beat that New Orleans defense.
Jones in motion. Screen pass, Hilliard. Dalton Hilliard is killing the Rams. Inside the 30 with another Saints first down. Jerry Gray finally hauled him down. A key block by rookie Steve Trapillo.
Well, you see Hebert. Now, all they're doing, these aren't complicated plays, folks. These are just simple screens and little check-offs. Hebert does a good job, sets in the pocket, gets the rush to come to him, and now they get out in front. Trapillo with an excellent block, and now it's all Dalton Hilliard, just making people miss. It's a good thing Jerry Gray's got strong arms, or else he'd have broken another one.
Good thing it wasn't a tearaway jersey, which he's tucking in right there. First down, Ruben Mays gets about 5 more. And you can almost feel the wind going out of the Rams balloon as they're now physically being pushed back play after play.
Well, they've got to do one. They've either got to get real mad at themselves or real mad at somebody, because they're just not executing. I mean, it's not that they don't have people in a position to make a play. They're just not executing.
Second down along 5. Jones in motion. Hilliard will throw. Has a man open. Tice has the ball. Touchdown. A flag down, but evidently interference would be the call. It's a New Orleans touchdown. What a catch by Tice.
What a throw by Hilliard. That would be a throw any quarterback would be proud of.
Had that arc you were talking about.
That's the way you got to do it. Now, if that ball's any flatter, it's nothing. They move the defense. As you see Nolan Cromwell slide over now. Because they've been able to run the ball, everybody comes up. Now, Cromwell closes on him. Look at that ball. Drops right in. Tice makes the catch.
That's a great catch. He was actually on his way down with the 2 defenders, Cromwell and Gray on his back, and made the catch while he was falling.
That ball could not have been anyplace else.
Morton Anderson for the point after. The Saints threatening to turn this into a rout. And so, here in the second period at Anaheim Stadium, New Orleans rolling over the Rams 17-0.
There you see the motion to get an idea of what the defense is in. Hebert turns around and pitches it to Dalton Hilliard. Now, look at the Rams come up to react to the run. This is just a great throw and a great catch. Tice on his way down makes the grab, got his arm underneath the ball before he hits the ground for 6.
So Anderson kicks it off again, and again nails one, this time in the opposite direction, and just as deep, right at the end line. Ron Brown, no opportunity to bring it out. Well, next Saturday, here's one Joe and I'll be watching with particular interest. Of course, we love Alabama. That's why.
That's right.
Actually, we have to confess that we're both Notre Dame alumni, so we'll be watching number 9, Fighting Irish, against Alabama, ranked number 13. Big win by the Crimson Tide yesterday, Joe.
Yeah, big win. You know, the SEC was up for grabs. Everybody in the SEC was hoping that Alabama would upset LSU, and they did. Of course, the Irish in a comeback victory over Boston College.
Should be fun next week. CBS 2:30 Eastern Time on Saturday. Everett on first down, incomplete in front of the intended receiver, Ron Brown. Back on the coverage, number 22, Van Jakes.
As a quarterback, whether you're a young quarterback or a veteran quarterback, we've all been in this situation. The one thing Jim Everett has to do now is not try and press, not try and say it's up to me to make 17 points happen in a hurry. Plenty of time left in this football game. He's just got to concentrate. Of course, they're 27th in pass offense against the number 1 ranked pass defense. But as a quarterback, you just accept that as a challenge and don't worry about it.
2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Early movement, and a whistle will stop play before it gets underway. It was Wilkes who jumped. Was he drawn?
Defense encroachment.
So Wilkes encroached.
I love Ben Drive. When he was refereeing, you never in question what's going on. Ben, he sorts things out. Say he didn't smile. He even enjoyed that call.
2nd and 5 for the Rams at their 25. Charles White cutting back inside, but there are Saints there to greet him. Sam Mills, number 51, with the initial contact.
Charles White, of course, playing with that broken index finger right at the edge. This is what tells you the story of the day. Every time New Orleans has had the ball, they've averaged 9.1 yards. Every time LA has had it, they've averaged 3.8 yards. And you got to just generate more offense. Your defense has to shut them down a little bit if you're the Rams, and you've got to try and generate some kind of offense. Give a lot of credit to New Orleans as a ball club today.
Saints send in an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Everett flares it out to Ron Brown, and he's dropped immediately. Van Jakes on the coverage against the speedy Ron Brown. Did he get the first down? It'll be close. And yes, he did. So Ron Brown got to where he had to.
I got to believe that he's the man that you've got to get the football 10, 12, 13 times a game. Somehow. He's got great speed, and as long as he's got his hands on the ball, somehow something big might happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and figure out a way to get Ron Brown the ball a little bit more.
NFL's fastest man in the most recent competition, beating Green Bay's Philip Epps in the final. He downplayed it, though. He said Darrell Green wasn't there. First down from the 30, and again, early movement. The ball is still very much down. Doug Smith, the Rams center, he said, I'm not moving anything.
False start, offense.
This time it goes against the Rams, and he just called it offense generically. There were a couple of them moving. Jackie Slater, the right tackle, Irv Pankey, the left tackle.
You see the problems the Rams have had scoring. They just have not had a good, their opponents have put up 81 points to their 38. Of course, if you look at the 62 points their opponents have scored, that's as much as the entire opponents did last year so far this year in the 4th quarter.
1st and 15. Charles White. You know, I was starting to say earlier in the game about White's attitude. He hasn't had a lot of success so far here in the Rams offense, but they haven't had the ball very much so far in this game. But talking to him on Friday is recognizing that with Dickerson gone, he's got to carry more of the load. Greg Bell comes in, and he certainly showed a positive attitude. He said, I know I'm not Dickerson, but I can get the job done. I'm a guy you can rely on. And one thing John Robinson says about him is he is plenty tough. You know he'll play every down. 75, Bruce Clark. He was injured on the last play, causing the timeout. And despite Clark being out, the Rams have had lots of other tough defenders against them so far. What can they do to get back into this, Joe?
I think they just have to take their time. There's plenty of time left in the game, and they just have to make first downs. Not try and get touchdowns, just make first downs.
Frank Warren has replaced Clark. Everett under pressure and just dumped that one into the open territory. The heat came from Tony Elliott, number 99.
That's a bad decision by Jim Everett. That time they brought Ron Brown in motion. He comes in motion. You see him just to the left center of your screen. He starts out. Now he cuts in. He'll come from the left side, and this is supposed to be a little dink. Now Everett, he should just have got rid of the ball. Should just have gotten rid of it real quick. He didn't have any idea where Ron Brown was going. He thought he was going to go upfield. You don't ever, ever, ever want to throw a ball up for grabs in the middle of a football field. That is absolutely the first cardinal sin of quarterbacking.
3rd down and 10. Everett gets some time and hits his man, a diving catch short of the first down. The tight end, Damone Johnson, with a fine catch for Everett, but did not get to the marker, and Los Angeles will have to punt. Bruce Clark, the injury report, had the wind knocked out of him, and
a lot of wind.
He'll be back.
Yeah, a big boy.
280-pounder.
A lot of wind to fill up that body.
That's right. Woo. Boy, he is one of the better defensive ends in football, to say the least.
And fast, too. I tried to run away from him. He played down in New Orleans a few years ago.
Mel Gray taking Hatcher's punt, and a good return by Gray. Gets over the 35 to the 37, where Mike McDonald makes the stop, and Rams tackling continues to be poor. 37-yard punt, a 12-yard return. Well, there's the
great confidence builder for the Eagles, and of course the Redskins still leading the division. Bring them back to earth, make them tougher than ever, probably.
Chicago again from behind over Green Bay.
That's just the way it is.
And Cleveland beating up on the Falcons, really struggling. And San Diego over Indianapolis, and Dickerson did his thing, but it wasn't enough.
Down the road about 90 miles, they're probably thinking that they can play home for the Super Bowl if they keep at this pace.
First down, New Orleans at their own 35-yard line. Barry Word, his first carry, gets about a yard. Word drafted number 4 a year ago, spent the season on injured reserve. 220-pounder from Virginia. Collins and Newsom made the tackle.
Of course, that's one of those hands-off. You give the ball to the fullback. Ward's not going to, go crazy and run up the field for you like Hilliard and Mays might, but you have to keep the defense honest. So you give the ball to the fullback just to let them know that everybody's in the backfield.
Second, about 8.5 for New Orleans. In the driver's seat in this game at 17-0 here in the second quarter. Hebert, and it was tipped and almost completed to Ruben Mays. Went off Mays' hands and then was nearly caught by Eric Martin.
Good protection by that New Orleans offensive line. Hebert, nice strong delivery. A little bit behind Mays. Then off of Mays to Martin. Martin to the ground. Almost catches it twice.
Third down. Shotgun now for Hebert. Got nailed just as he released the ball. Jones could not make the grab, and Doug Reed nearly planted Hebert in the turf here at Anaheim.
Well, that's sort of become the new thing. Of course, the fans are excited. They've stopped New Orleans, and they're getting a little bit of a cheer. But that time, Los Angeles only had 2 defensive linemen in the game. Had 4 linebackers in and rushed 2 of them. Reed comes in, Kevin Green rushes from one side, Mike Wilcher rushes from the other. And they put a lot of pressure on Bobby Hebert that time.
Brian Hansen's punt taken by Henry Ellard at the Rams' 22-yard line. And we have 6:03 remaining here in the first half. A 41-yard punt for Hansen. A flag on the play.
Ineligible man downfield.
So as they sort out the punt situation, the penalty on the punt play. A quick update on our circumstances here. We're live at Anaheim Stadium. The Rams and the Saints. Tim Ryan and Joe Theismann watching New Orleans.
Eligible man down team on a kicking team. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
New Orleans with an impressive afternoon thus far against a somewhat, to say the least, lackluster Rams team. 17-0. A 32-yard field goal by Morton Anderson. A 38-yard touchdown pass to Hilliard from Bobby Hebert, and then Hilliard passing to John Tice to make it 17-0.
The Rams hoping they can now set up some type of a return, pick up their yardage a little bit.
Hansen hits from the 22. Good punt. Backs up Ellard. Dropped at the 30-yard line.
They picked up 7 yards on the exchange.
So the Rams will try again after the 45-yard punt. 17-0 New Orleans here in the second period. And meanwhile, the 49ers have moved ahead of Houston 7-3 in the second quarter. And of course, the Niners on top, but with a 6-1 margin. New Orleans with a chance to catch them.
Not only that, they play them next week.
And that will be our doubleheader game next Sunday here on CBS Sports. And all of you looking in will get a chance to see that one. Should be a dandy matchup. First down. Everett, screen. Greg Bell. Greg Bell showed a little power there, knocking Van Jakes back with a straight arm or a straight elbow.
Or a body shot. That's the hammer. That's the big hammer. You get that flipper out and just throw it out in front of people.
Greg Bell, here he came from Buffalo. Had to love his line when he arrived. He wasn't too happy with the Bills after a great rookie season. Said, I was just hoping I wasn't going to Green Bay. And when I found out I was coming here, it was like going from an icebox in frozen captivity to seeing Annette Funicello in a California movie. There's Bell again, running this time. It's about 4 yards over the 45. I didn't think he was old enough to remember Annette Funicello, but I know you are, Joe.
He probably saw the same reruns I did.
Beach Blanket Bingo and all those other
Well, they
hits.
have a new one out now, don't they? I think it's a new Disney film. On the beach,
track of
by
Annette,
the
I
beach,
must say.
Whatever.
Second down and about 5.5. Charles White gets a breather here while Greg Bell goes to work.
Again, John Robinson saying that he wants to get Greg Bell the ball at least 10 times rushing, 12 passes maybe, and see what he can do.
Here he is again, putting it back into the middle, picks up about 3. Bell, of course, naturally had to face the media here talking about replacing somebody like Dickerson along with Charles White. He said, hey, I think people should remember that Dickerson did so well because he was behind this great L.A. line, had a coach like John Robinson who coached more Heisman winners than Dickerson ever won. So I thought that was kind of an interesting perspective.
Well, he's not shy.
Not at all.
He's not the least bit shy.
There's a lot of great backs that like to come here, carry the ball 30 times a game behind that big Ram offensive line. 3rd down and 3. Intended for Brown on the near sideline. It's out of bounds, incomplete. Van Jakes, number 22, had the coverage.
That's a tough throw. Throwing to your left as a quarterback, you got to set and fire. Good coverage by the Saints secondary. That one you have to chalk up to execution. Everett threw the ball where he had to not allow an interception, and good defense to stop the play.
So the Rams are stopped again. That's the bottom line. They have not been able to get anything going thus far. 4:23 remains first half. Hatcher to punt. Hatcher really elevates it. Fair catch signaled by Gray. Bounces at the 10, and the Rams will down it. Good job by Tim Terrell, number 32, the ace of their specials team. They'll spot it at the 4-yard line. Away this afternoon, the situation is this. New Orleans has dominated the Rams. We are in the second period with 4:11 to play, and as you can see, the stats favor the Saints totally. 119 passing yards. Hebert has first down at his 4. Ruben Mays gets 2. Reggie Doss, number 71, made the tackle.
The Rams have got to think to the quarter now, or to the half. There's 3:57 left. If they can shut down New Orleans at this juncture, they get their offense good field position, come away with some kind of a score before half. New Orleans, on the other hand, if they can put together a drive, they maybe get a shot at a field goal, or at least go in at halftime 17-zip. So this series becomes very important to both teams.
Barry Word over the 10. It's about 5 yards. Alvin Wright, number 99 from Jacksonville State, made the tackle on him.
They run over behind the right guard, Steve Trapello, being a rookie. Out of Boston College, big kid, 281, 6'5". Always had trouble. Of course, I was only 6 feet tall. Every quarterback in the National Football League today seems to be 6'5" or taller. But to get big guards and big centers in front of him made it difficult for me to see downfield. Bobby Hebert doesn't have that problem because he's as big as his lineman.
3rd down and 4. New Orleans trying to get out from the shadow of the goal line, and Hebert runs out of time. Runs out of real estate, but not before he got a first down. Second scramble by Hebert, producing first down yardage. Kevin Green made the tackle.
And the 3rd scramble today to produce a big play. The first one he made a big throw on. Give a lot of credit to the secondary of the Rams. They're shutting it down back there, but they can't get a hand on it. Hebert steps in the pocket. Now he gets flushed out by Doug Reed, but still, presence of mind. Where's the first down marker? Turns up, makes the play.
What a delightful young man he is, Bobby Hebert. It was a pleasure chatting with him yesterday. As we reach the 2-minute warning here at Anaheim Stadium, his team very much in control of it. Tim Ryan with Joe Theismann at Anaheim Stadium. Coming up shortly at halftime, the NFL Today from New York with Brent Musburger and Herb Cross bringing you up to date on scores and highlights. And each week has produced some interesting results. And I think everybody would agree a lot of it has to do with the strike season having kind of turned things topsy-turvy. There have been some interesting results in the early games today. And we'll bring you right up to date. First down. 17-yard line. Good job by Bobby Hebert and the Saints to bring it out. And he'll throw on first down. Hebert, deep sideline, the tight end, Brenner has it. At the 34-yard line of New Orleans, Vince Newsom made the tackle. Flag on the play, back behind the line of scrimmage.
There you see the phones now. Jim Everett keeps going to those phones upstairs. You have to figure out which one is up to the box upstairs. That's the problem sometimes. You know, which one do you call home with, which one do you order with, and which one do you find a coach upstairs with?
Which one do you call for a taxi from?
That's the tough one.
When you're down 17 to zip at halftime.
There's number 72. Hands on a helmet pushing.
Penalty against the Saints.
Ben Dryce, one of those referees that really gets his personality into calling. You know, hands into face. That's where he put it, guy.
Jim Dombrowski accused of the crime.
Well, on the left side of your screen, you're going to see the penalty. You can't touch. There it is. You cannot get your hands up on the face gear or helmet in any way, shape, or form. They're going to throw a flag. It's one of the things that the referees have been asked to keep an eye on.
Dombrowski, considered an outstanding prospect, the #1 pick a year ago out of Virginia. He's working on his master's in biology, so he is a brainy tackle. First down from the 9. Draw play, and it's Hilliard. Hilliard, who's had a great day. Loose ball, recovered by the Rams over the 20-yard line. Mickey Sutton, the man to pick it up. And it will be LA football. Well, Hilliard, who had been killing the Rams through this first half, running, catching, and passing, finally makes a mistake. And Mickey Sutton, the second-year man from Montana, comes up with the ball.
Well, he's going to come right at you. Hebert, they go back into a draw play. Now he just comes right up the middle. There you see Reggie Doss get a hand on him. They just strip him out just before he hits the ground. Carl Eckern kick it away. Mickey Sutton makes the recovery.
Yeah, Doss should get credit for prying it loose, as you described it, Joe. It didn't come loose immediately, but he had loosened it up, and then when the next hit came out, came the ball. So the Rams now find themselves, as you described moments ago, Joe, in position here to get something on the board before the half and make this a different football game in the second half.
And this could be one of those where they're reviewing upstairs. You know, nobody's really made a decisional call. Referees walking around. Jim Mora, he wants to know what's going on upstairs. Talking to Lonzel Hill.
Norm Schachter is the replay official.
We'll take a look at it. Well, they're taking a look at it. Why don't we take a look at it? There you see the handoff by Hebert.
Watch 71, left
Hilliard
arm of Doss.
Does a good job of spinning away from the block. Gets that left arm in there, hits the ball. Now the question is he really on the ground when that ball comes loose? Hard to say.
I think he was.
Hard to say.
Looked to me like he had his left knee down before the ball came loose.
You might think so.
But the Rams have the football.
Rams have the football. So they didn't think so.
First down. Everett will throw on first down, and it is broken up by the linebacker Sam Mills, the intended receiver Damone Johnson, the second-year tight end from Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
It looks to me like Everett is just a step late in letting the ball go. He's not anticipating where the receiver is going to be. He's seeing the receiver and then he's throwing the ball. You can't do that. You have to anticipate where the receiver is going to be, throw to the hole where you expect him to be, so that the ball's there when he gets there, not after he gets to that area.
Second and 10. Let's see what young Everett does on this one. Point imperative for the Rams. Big hole here for White inside the 10. First down, Los Angeles. At the 8-yard line of the Saints, Johnny Poe made the tackle, number 25.
That's a good call by the Rams. They spread everybody out. You see the width of the tackles in the area that the line is created for White up the middle. By spreading out that offensive line, you make the defense spread out a little bit more. Charles White, the workhorse for the Los Angeles Rams.
Playing with a broken finger and sore ribs suffered in the game against the Niners last week. 1:05 and counting, and the Rams in scoring position inside the 10. Play action. Corner throw to Johnson, touchdown. Damone Johnson, nice catch. He had 5 catches against the 49ers last week. He comes up with a touchdown grab to turn the Rams' fortunes around.
Well, it's just It's one of those things where they just pounded away and pounded away, waited for the break. Their defense got them the ball. This is going to be a play-action fake. You see Greg Hill swing out to the left to pull the linebackers up. That's a great catch. Ball's a little bit high, but you got to have receivers make great catches for you. Everett's had a number of them dropped in the last few games. Now Damone Johnson with the big catch.
Just his second touchdown pass of the year. One of the LA writers sarcastically pointed out that coming into this game, he had as many touchdown passes as Mosey to Tupu, which happened to be true, but was a little unkind.
And he got tied by Dalton Hilliard earlier in the game.
Right, he did. Lansford barefoots the point after. And we've got ourselves a little more interesting football game here with time winding down first. Recovered by Mickey Sutton. And a 17-7 ball game now.
One thing you have to understand, Ernie Zampese came down from San Diego, came up from San Diego to handle the offense for the Rams. The tight end is a very big part of San Diego's offense. We think of Kellen Winslow and the job that he's done and the catches he's made in the All-Pro years and the help that he's been to Dan Fouts. This is what the Rams are looking for. They're looking for that tight end. David Hill, of course, in 12 years, doesn't know how much longer he's going to play. So Damone Johnson being very impressive on the field.
Lansford gets a good bounce to the 5. Hilliard wrapped up there, and what an effort by Michael Stewart, number 23. He tried to bat the ball away. Looked a little bit like Marvin Hagler throwing hooks to the body there, but the ball was held on to by Hilliard. Otherwise, the Rams could have had themselves another scoring chance down close. Well, next Sunday, Dallas will be in New England. Most of you in the Central Time Zone will see that game, and it is important clearly to both those clubs. And those of you out west will see the Rams at St. Louis. 11:30 Central, 9:30 Pacific, and then that will be followed by our doubleheader game, the Saints at the 49ers. 3 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Pacific.
Now, New Orleans doesn't want to do anything foolish here and then have the ball get turned over. They've got to play smart football.
Ruben Mays for about 4.
That's smart football. You give the ball to your running backs, let them turn the corner, runs behind. Dombrowski and Edelman. And I talked to Bobby Abe. We were talking to Bobby Abe yesterday. He said his wife, Teresa, was a gymnast, so she's taught him to stretch. There's Coach Mora. And he said he and Edelman see how much stretching they can do, and that's part of being an athlete. He can almost do a full split. He's 6'3", 6'4". It's amazing how much of an athlete he is. Benches 340.
Second down and 6, and Hebert this time gives it to Mays again, and he gets about 2 more out to the 25. And Carl Ecker. And now, evidently, we've just been told our video's been restored. So I'm happy to show you some pictures now. 2nd and 5. Give us to Mays behind the right tackle with a flag down on the play late. Collins and Johnson made the tackle for the Rams. A good hold behind the rookie Capillo. And he was holding against New Orleans. Now we're going to have an opportunity to show you the touchdown play. Everett to Bell.
See Everett go back in the pocket. That's Bell at the top left of your screen. He starts out, fakes like he's going to take a little swing pass, and beats Pat Swilling up the sideline. It's a great throw, great catch.
Meanwhile, back live, Brad Edelman charged with holding. And the Saints haven't marched off back to their 11-yard line.
Greg Bell's probably going to give the Rams the one element that they really needed, and what's very important to this offense, and that's a back that can come out of the backfield and catch the ball.
He looked very good catching the ball in practice on Friday. The Rams felt they had a real sharp practice and had had a good week, but they came out here and have not tackled well in this game in the first half. But now they find themselves right back in it, down by 3. 2nd down and 15. Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard running well, gets over the 20. Picks up about 8, maybe 9. Johnny Johnson and Newsom, the safeties, have to make the tackle deep.
The intensity level of this game has just gone up a notch. You see the tackling becoming better for the Rams, which was horrendous at best in the first half. And Dalton Hilliard just continuing to cut and slash and pick up lots of yards.
It'll leave 3rd down and 6, New Orleans at their own 21. 3 for 5, turning it over on 3rd down. Hebert scrambled for a couple of those. And the shotgun just got it away, and he's got his man, Eric Martin. 1st down, New Orleans. To the 38. Fine play by Hebert in the face of the rush.
That's just a great throw. He hung in the pocket. From the left of your screen, you're going to see Mickey Sutton come flying right in his face. It's a delayed blitz. Here he comes from the outside. Now, Hebert, he has no idea where that ball is going until he actually does have an idea, but he never gets a chance to see it finish. Great execution. Great throw.
1st down, Saints at their own 38-yard line. 17-14 here in the 3rd period. Hebert now 7 of 12. Gets lots of time and finds Hilliard for another 5 yards. Now this Saints game plan right on the mark in this series, based on what Hebert was telling us yesterday. You know, a guy who was a bit of a mad bomber in USFL, Joe,
right,
knows he can throw deep, would love to, every quarterback would, but he says, hey, I've got to play discipline in the style that Jim Mora wants and with the talent we have.
That's right, and he's doing it. And attacking the Ram defense is exactly that type of mentality that he has to take, and that attitude is, I'll take the 5 or 6 yard gains with my back, hopefully get a big one to the wide guys.
2nd down, a long 4, we'll call it. Big drop again. Good protection once more. Down the middle, Martin trips up, incomplete. Martin just stumbled there on the natural turf. I don't know whether he's now saying that he tripped over a Ram player or was tripped by a Ram player, but no call from the officials. Looked to me like he fell himself.
Well, you'll see it at the top left of your screen. He does get tripped, there's no question. The thing is the ball catchable? There you see he gets his feet tangled up with Mickey Sutton, and the ball is going over the head. Now, that's one of those debatable issues. Is it incidental contact? Could he have caught the ball? All those questions, you know, Jim Moore is great at coulda, woulda, shoulda. Well, that one coulda, woulda, shoulda wound up on the ground.
Yeah, well, he's great at saying he doesn't want to hear that. That's what
right.
You mean, yeah. The bottom line is win. Doesn't matter what it looks like or what the score is. 3rd down, still a long 4. Intended for Martin again. Good coverage by the Rams. Johnny Johnson and Mickey Sutton. And they have stopped the Saints.
That's great coverage off the line. You know, a defensive back is allowed to hand chuck the receiver coming up from the right of your screen. This is a short 5 yard pass. Hebert makes the throw. And Mickey Sutton's all over Martin. Now, he's allowed to hand chuck him within 5 yards. So Martin is obviously not happy with the outcome, but it's within the rules of the game.
Saints shifting on their punt play. Ryan Hansen standing at the New Orleans 30.
Got to watch out for the fake.
All kinds of movement. Here's another shift. This one they don't seem to be too well organized themselves on, and they use up 30 seconds. So they must have had something on.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did. They wanted to maybe quick snap it to the fullback over the right side to get what amounted to an unbalanced line. The Rams reacted, moved in a little bit, and then they went back and tried to shift into a punt formation. They did the right thing. You take the penalty and kick the ball without a loss of down, a miscue of a play.
Delay the game, 5 yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, we can't tell from Mora's expression as to what the play was going to be, but it looked like it might have been some fun. Instead, we're just going to see a 4th down punt.
It's not fun now.
At the 25-yard line now, Hansen, no doubt, will kick this one. And he kicks it dandy. Backing up Eller to the 15. A clipping penalty will be forthcoming as they drop him at the 25. I don't want to be so quick to call that, but I saw the clip and saw a flag, so I'm putting 1 and 1 together.
Well, you know, in the old rules, it would have been a clip. This is one of those illegal blocks in the back.
Same thing.
Okay. All right.
Terminology is changing in every mode of life.
Every quarter.
Thing is, he hit the guy from behind.
You're right, he did. There's no question about it.
Ben Dreith will make it official.
Holding.
Holding.
On the receiving team.
Holy
When
smokes.
the ball was in the air. 23. 5-yard, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the catch.
They're somewhere.
Timeout.
One of those things, I don't know.
Penalty is definitely against the Rams. We'll be right back. 17-4. Holding, but watch 59, Mark Giroux, come into the picture. A Rams uniform right there, and watch him throw that block. That's what we saw initially. Clearly
Mike
from
Tice.
behind. Yeah, knocked him down. But the flag comes up, but the penalty that was called was on Stewart for holding, which we didn't see, but must have occurred because the officials called it.
That's right. And Ben Dreif has got him set up and ready to go.
First down at the 8-yard line. The Rams backed up deep.
I still think this is a great situation with Ron Brown's speed. You run a little play action fake and go for it all.
Charles White gets it out to the 10-yard line. Gain of 3. Sam Mills makes the tackle. This Detroit on top of Dallas 17-10 in the third period, and the Niners in a tough one against Houston, 14-6.
Miami ahead of Cincinnati. Dan Marino must be having an off day. They only scored 10 points.
Second down. Rams from their 10-yard line. Everett gets some time. Intended for Ellard, and is it caught on the intercept? Yes. Diving grab by Brett Maxey. On the interception off the tip, the hands of Ellard into the hands of Maxey.
Well, the Rams guess right. They block enough people to protect Everett. You see him go back in the middle of his screen. Gooman comes up the middle, checks down right in the middle. Everett dancing around a little bit, overstrides a little and gets the ball up in the air. That's a tough catch for Ellard. Gooman comes in, makes the tackle. Now this is a situation where New Orleans now gets an opportunity to capitalize on a Ram turnover like the Rams did just before the half.
First down at the LA 35. Ruben Mays nowhere to go, picks his way for 2. Running behind Hilgenberg, Trapillo, and Edelman in the middle of the Saints offensive unit. Ball at the 32-yard line of the Rams. Martin goes into the slot right. One setback. Hebert 8 of 15 passing, 146 yards. Martin in motion. Hebert wide open is Brenner. First down to the 10-yard line to the 9-yard line for Hobie Brenner, former USC star. No doubt some friends and family here watching him in a Saints uniform.
He's split out to your right at the right-hand side of your screen. You see him release outside the linebacker, outside of Mel Owens. Now he just gets upfield, and there's a soft seam in that zone. There he does, makes the catch and picks up the additional yardage. Vince Newsom on the tackle, Johnny Johnson coming in.
23 yards on the gain, first and goal at the 9. Mays to the 4-yard line.
A couple of weeks ago against San Francisco, New Orleans had a real problem putting the ball in the end zone when it got down this close. Last week against Atlanta, they've managed to make things happen. So there's another great test for them against the Ram defense, which historically has been real tough inside the 20.
Second and goal from the 4-yard line. I formation. Word, the lead back. Mays. Good piece of running by Mays. He broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Mel Owens finally got him, but Johnny Johnson had a shot at him behind the line, and Mays ran through him.
I got to believe this is a situation where you go with your play action pass. You've got a little over 2 yards to go to get to the end zone. You've got some good runners. You've been running the ball fairly well. You run a little play action pass, dump it off to the tight end or the back in the flat.
I love it when they get inside the 20 because you're calling every play.
Everyone.
Every play.
Everyone.
And you're smelling end zone on everyone.
That's, well, it's part of the instincts that I grew up with.
3rd and 2. Mays, touchdown. Right straight ahead, a huge hole. Hilgenberg, Edelman, Trapillo doing the job for Ruben Mays. And the Saints have widened their lead. And that's the first touchdown of the season for Ruben Mays. They've been giving it to Hilliard when they've gotten in close, and this time it's Mays' turn.
That left side lower part of your screen, you'll see just a big blocking up front by Dombrowski, Edelman, and Hildenberg. They just clear out the middle of the Ram defense, and he strolls in the end zone.
Morton Anderson has the point after. So once again, the New Orleans Saints with a 10-point lead. 6 to play 3rd quarter. As you can see, the Saints led by 10 early. They lead by 10 now after the Rams had gotten themselves back into it, cutting the margin to 3. 2 New Orleans turnovers, 1 by LA. Each passer, Hebert and Everett, has given up an interception. Ron Brown, first opportunity, he's had to return the ball on a kickoff, and he gets out to the 17-yard line. Well, next Saturday, college football action. The Crimson Tide and the Fighting Irish live at 2:30 Eastern Time. Number 9 Notre Dame coming from behind yesterday to beat Boston College. Alabama with an upset of LSU. And ready to go at each other in what should be an exciting game next week. 49ers opening things up, Joe. I wonder if Warren Moon's got any miracles left there. Yeah. Lots of time left, though.
You know, Warren Moon is the AFC's answer to Jim McMahon.
Right. Everett on first down to Greg Bell. Bell stumbled as he caught the ball, but he got about 2 before he was buried at the 20-yard line.
Here's a look at that touchdown. You'll see Hebert taking handoff to Ruben Mays running left. That's just a great job and a great push by that offensive line. Particularly Steve Trapello, the right guard, just absolutely pushing Eckarn and Meisner and Collins all the way back into the end zone.
Trapillo probably feeling a little unhappy about BC, his alma mater, giving up that win to Notre Dame yesterday.
Oh, I'm sure that's why he did that.
Yes, indeed. He's taking it out on the Rams. A lot of emotion here, you know, with these rookies. 2nd down and 5. That was a bit of a stretch, wasn't it? Greg Bell was to the 25.
Really was. Nice bridge, Tim.
For a gain of 3. Greg Bell. Jim Wilkes made the stop on him. You know, we haven't mentioned yet that the Saints playing without their outstanding pass rusher, James Gethers. You know, he's gone, looks like, for the year, and you would think that that would have some effect on their defense, and yet, as we pointed out, they are number 1 in the NFL. They've got real good defensive players on the Saints team.
They're playing aggressive. They're all getting to the football. They're all making good tackles. I think the big difference in this game has been tackling, and the Saints have done it.
3rd down and 2. Bell again. And Bell is short of the first down. He had nowhere to go. Look at all the white shirts around that side of the line where Bell was trying to get over right tackle. James Wilkes again made the stop on him. Got somebody changing its clothes right here on television.
Repairs. Into the pits for a little bit of repair.
We bring it all to you here on look at CBS coverage of the NFL.
This is how the New Orleans Saints are a second half ball club. You see they've 35 points in the 3rd quarter, 58 in the 4th quarter versus their opponents. They seem to gain momentum as the game goes on.
That's got to be one of the best sideline shots I've ever seen. 4th down. Rams will have to punt.
That's one of those up close and personals.
Fair catch at the 38-yard line, and we have a timeout on the field. New Orleans by lead for New Orleans over the Rams, and San Francisco leading Houston 21-6 in the 3rd quarter, and the 49ers trying to move to 7-1 and open what might be insurmountable space between them and the Saints. But next week they will meet head on. So clearly the Saints happy to be back in charge in this game, but still a long way to go. That's our doubleheader game next week here on CBS coverage of the NFL. Ruben Mays gets about a yard. Maybe 2. They'll spot it close to the 40-yard line, and it was Greg Meissner, the nose tackle, making the hit on Ruben Mays.
The Rams still trying to find an answer to how to get this season turned around for them. Of course, Coach Robinson never having a losing season. Their defense just plays the same way. Play good, solid football. The key to this game is not giving up turnovers, and each quarterback has thrown an interception, and they put the ball on the ground.
Second down, a long 8. Dalton Hilliard. And he nearly broke another one. Mickey Sutton, number 49, made the saving tackle, or he had a lot of room to run on the near sideline. A 17-yard pickup. What a game Dalton Hilliard is having.
Oh, can this man flat dance? Watch this. Off the left side of your screen, you get a great block by Dombrowski. He just makes, look at, he just makes Eckern miss in the hole. Comes up, puts a move on Johnny Johnson, and slides outside. Happy feet. That man has got happy feet.
Fine pair of running backs, Hilliard and Mays, and oftentimes you'll hear coaches say, well, you know, really only one guy is going to be your true runner. John Robinson feels that way. Jim Mora says, I've got 2 guys, they're both going to run. They'll get their chances. And there's Daniels. Play action. Mora deep. Incomplete. Intended. Now make it Hebert. Did I say Mora threw the ball? He would like to. Hebert trying to air it out for Mel Gray, but it's overthrown.
Well, Mel Gray is listed as a backup halfback, but his real strength is as a receiver. With all that speed he has getting down the field, again, they've tried to isolate him one-on-one with Jerry Gray most of the afternoon. Gray has won that confrontation with an interception earlier in the game.
It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line of the Rams.
They may come back with that play because over on the sidelines, Lonzel Hill was wide open. Of course, Hebert wants to go for 6 like any quarterback, but wouldn't be surprised if they came back with that one later.
Hilliard again. Another good hold for him. He slipped a little making the cut, but still picked up 4. Nolan Cromwell buries him at the 40-yard line. That'll be 3rd down. And Gray comes back on again for the Saints offensively as time winds down here in the 3rd period at Anaheim Stadium, and the shadows creeping across the field, almost entirely covering the playing surface now.
Dalton Hilliard is a slashing type of runner. When he makes a decision that he's going upfield, there's absolutely no question he's going upfield.
Hebert from the shotgun, incomplete, and Gray knocked flying a flag down upfield. Whether it's on Gray or farther downfield on a different receiver, we'll find out.
Nolan Cromwell just knocked a living tar out of Gray as he came across the field. You'll see it right in the center of your screen. Here comes Nolan Cromwell just to the left, right of the referee. Hits him before the ball gets there. You just can't do that.
Dendrite, the referee, signaling the interference call. Now further discussion here with the Rams.
He's got pass interference on the defense. That's a 1st down.
1st down at the 37-yard line, and if it was the one we showed you there, Cromwell on Mel Gray, there wasn't any doubt about that. So the Saints have themselves a 1st down in Rams territory at the 37. Now the Oilers have scored, as we pointed out, a long way to go in that game, and Warren Moon's recent heroics looks like that one will go down to the wire in San Francisco.
They've taken things a long way in a short time before. Like we said, Warren Moon and Jim McMahon each sharing the role of comeback guys in the AFC and NFC respectively.
4 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter here at Anaheim. This will be the final play. Gray in motion. Hilliard again. Hilliard this time stopped after a gain of 2. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. New Orleans 24. Told that some folks over at KCBS, our CBS station here in Los Angeles, are primarily responsible for getting our picture back on the air. We really want to thank them. Our technical difficulties of blanking out the video earlier in the game. Hebert complete to Mel Gray, and it will be short of the first down. It'll leave third and about a yard. Mickey Sutton and Johnny Johnson responding to the call for the Rams. And that's kind of cute.
Go Saints,
Thibodeau.
huh?
Yeah. I wonder if there's a Thibodeau in California, or that guy came all the way from Louisiana.
Maybe that's him sitting right above it.
Go Saints. Love it. That's good. Bobby Hebert also, it was fun to hear him talk about his grandma's chicken fricassee.
That's right, his fricassee.
Yes.
Very good.
She was the champion cook in their family making Cajun food. That's a special. Third down. Dalton Hilliard breaks tackles again and gets over the 20 with a first down and then some. Johnson and Cromwell finally stop him. This guy is inspired today.
Well, he just ran out of the hands of Mickey Sutton, Jim Collins, Reggie Doss. I mean, he just flat ran right through 3 tacklers for the Rams.
Hilliard already has a touchdown catch, a touchdown pass, and 55 yards rushing. He's just been absolutely great. 74 yards receiving. First down, Saints, inside the 20 of the Rams. Hilliard again. Collins got him from behind and then got some help from Cromwell and Kevin Green. Green, the youngster from Auburn, his 3rd year, back from a shoulder injury. Didn't play last week.
There you see some of the coaching staff of the New Orleans Saints. All of them look like athletes. All their coaches look like they're marathon runners or weightlifters or both. Jim Moore's intensity carries right over to his staff. He was very protective of using the term playoff team and didn't want his team to get too comfortable, too confident, and feel like they were feeling real good about themselves. He wants them to keep the work ethic, and he wants them to continue to work hard, and he doesn't want the city to get too excited. But I got to be honest with you, there's something to get excited about. The New Orleans Saints football team are doing a lot of things right.
They look like a playoff team to me. Sorry, Jim Moore. 360 yards of total offense for the Saints, who lead this game 24-14 in the 4th period here at Anaheim Stadium. And Joe, the Rams seem to get it going, took a run at the Saints. You have to be impressed with a team we've just described as a playoff contender, because they came right back and took it away again.
They really did. You know, the Saints are doing exactly what they have to do. They're shutting down the Rams running game. Now, here's the play of the, well, really is the play of the game, is Dalton Hilliard with the touchdown pass to John Tice. Great catch, great throw, right over the defenders. On his way to the ground, makes the reception for the touchdown.
That came early in the 2nd period, made it 17-0 at the time. And the Saints threatening again inside the 20, 2nd and 9. Hilliard once again. Hilliard with a big hole up the middle. You're not supposed to be able to run on that front of the Rams like the Saints have been doing, and certainly Jim Moore has got to feel real good about his young offensive line.
And also John Robinson, when we talked to him on Friday, he said the one thing we have to do is we have to stop the running game. We have to do a much better job of tackling. We have to finish the tackles, and we have to do a better job. They haven't done it this afternoon. The offensive line of the Saints have. They've finished their blocks. They've done what's necessary to open up the holes. Collins and Eckern in the middle, and Meisner just getting handled by the front triangle of the Saints.
It is 1st and goal, New Orleans at the 8. 10th play of this drive. Hilliard cuts it back into the middle and picks up about 2. Jammed up that time in the middle. Hilliard, 5'8", 204-pounder. It's not like you're talking about a Dickerson-sized running back. Collins and Owens got him that time.
He runs with such power. You know, he's the offensive answer to Sam Mills on their defense. Mills is 5'9". Both of them very compact. It's really hard to get a shot at a guy who has that low a center of gravity and runs that hard and that close to the ground. All you get to tackle are knees and elbows, and it's hard to grab onto something.
2nd and goal, inside the 5. Hilliard the lone setback. They stuff him this time. Rams, good defensive work. Meissner getting between the blockers. Eckern right behind him. Good defensive job.
Well, if you're going to play a 3-4 defense, those are the guys that have to shut down the run. The 2 inside linebackers and the nose tackle. That time, Greg Meissner coming up with a big play, gets around Joel Hilgenberg to make the tackle.
Doug Reed comes on. Alvin Wright comes out for the Rams. 3rd and goal. The ball at the 3-yard line. 10:54 to go. Hebert wants to throw. Forced out. Might have gotten in, but he's going to throw it, and it is caught. Or is it? No arms up yet from the officials. There it is, touchdown. Lonzell Hill, the rookie from Washington, number 2 pick this year. His first catch of the day is for a score.
And his nickname is Mo. Mo Hill hauling it in for the touchdown. A great job by Bobby Hebert, again buying some time with his mobility. He started to move right, forced the defense to move, and then comes back and makes a great throw. But we got a discussion down on the field.
Well, there seemed to be a delay in them throwing up their arms, signaling the touchdown.
There was no question he was in the end zone.
Yeah, no question at all, and it seemed like he had the ball, but there is a discussion.
Van Drive continuing to carry on discussion. There it is. It's official.
It is now official. A 3-yard touchdown from Hebert to Lonzell Hill. 12 plays, 63 yards, 6:50 off the clock. And Lonzell Hill, son of J.D. Hill, a former Arizona State receiver, played with the Lions and the Buffalo Bills. Number 2 choice.
That's when you know you're getting old. Say, I played against his father.
Anderson with the point after. And the New Orleans Saints have once again taken big command.
As is the case, whenever you see on that picture, you can always find the quarterback near the receiver. Hebert's going to go back in the pocket. They've got 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. See Dalton Hilliard set and check down in the middle. Hebert doesn't get what he wants. The Rams only rushing 3, dropping 8 guys back in coverage. Now Hebert stops, plants himself, and throws back across the middle. Great arm strength. An excellent reception. Good coverage by the Rams, just great execution. There he is again. Hebert all the time to throw. It's tough to give a quarterback that moves around that much time down around the end zone. He's going to find some kind of a hole to work into. Receiver does a good job, works back, makes the touchdown reception.
Bobby Hebert, boy, he's got a lot of enthusiasm, this young man. And, you know, the facts of the matter are with this quarterback, Hebert, is that he's got a season-long audition here, really, to prove that he can be the quarterback with the New Orleans Saints.
That's right. They were in and out with he and Dave Wilson last year. He's certainly making an excellent point for himself. 11 for 19, 2 touchdown passes. And what really isn't shown by those statistics are the big plays he's made buying time, like he did on that one. A couple of scrambles for a first down, big runs in key situations. Now he gets to go on camera. Guy waves. Don't be embarrassed.
Lonzell just showed the quarterback where the camera was.
Well, you have to, you know, they're shy. Quarterbacks are shy.
Right. Deep in the end zone, the kickoff by Anderson again, but Brown will bring it out. Ran into his own man. Gets over the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Well, next Sunday, our CBS NFL coverage will begin with the NFL Today, and most of you in the central part of the country will watch Dallas at New England. The Cowboys, a good performance against the Giants last Monday night. New England with a new quarterback having the injury to Tony Eason. It'll be Grogan there. Rams at St. Louis, most of you on the West Coast will see. And then our doubleheader action, everybody looking in today. And now that's a highly anticipated game, the Saints and the 49ers. Everett on the fly to Ellard. Good coverage by Van Jakes. The ball was there, but Van Jakes broke it up.
That's just an excellent defensive play. Again, we have to remember Everett's still very young, as is Hebert, in the systems that they're working in. And what really has hurt
Jim Everett more than anything is the 4 weeks of the strike. You spend 6 weeks in training camp. You get yourself 2 weeks into a season. You lose 2 games, but you played well. They played well in both the ball games against Minnesota and Houston, but lost them. Now you take 4 weeks off, and you don't have any coaching. And all the disciplines that you've learned are shot and gone out the window. So you got to start all over.
No work during the week, no game experience for Everett. Hits his man this time. It's turned upfield by Henry Ellard for a first down, Rams. At the 33-yard line.
The Rams can't be concerned with what the score of this game is. What they have to do is just try and pick up first downs. They got back in the game before the half that way. They have to do that thing now. Also, Everett's got to get in the huddle, make plays, conserve the time, get in and get out, and get some kind of a rhythm for his offense.
Under the 10-minute mark to go. And a little mix-up already here. Extra receiver. Michael Young comes on the field, number 88. Gets the playoff. Everett with time is going deep for Ellard, and it's overthrown. And there were 2 men on Ellard all the way, Jakes and Brett Maxey. Second down.
Well, that's a case of trying to get too much too quick. New Orleans with a 31-14 lead. You see on the left part of your screen, Ellard's running down and Jakes is in coverage. And actually, Ellard gets his hand out, Jakes gets his hand out. Ellard leans into him a little bit, but the ball is really uncatchable. So you get incidental contact and no flag.
Sean Knight, the rookie number 1 pick from BYU, has come on the field for the Saints defensively. Right end. Pass into traffic. Flags down, and they'll get an interference call. Kevin House, the intended receiver, Maxey, and the linebacker, number 57, Ricky Jackson, both arrived there with the ball.
Defense pass interference. 57, first down.
It's Ricky Jackson.
Everett back in the pocket. He sets now just to the upper left part of your screen. You're going to see him make the throw. And over the top comes Ricky Jackson. That's pass interference.
First down from the 42 of Los Angeles. Sideliner complete to Kevin House. First down, Rams into Saints territory at the 44-yard line. Make it the 43.
Well, you know, Everett continues to throw the ball well, put the ball where it belongs. They had the drive going early in the third quarter through the interception, which turned the ball game around really for New Orleans, got them on the board with a quick score. Now he's got them moving again. They just really have to concentrate and be patient.
Well, part of the problem Everett's had is that the Saints have had the ball much of the day. 30 minutes, 10 minutes more than Los Angeles. He's had it, he's moved it. That one overthrown. Intended for Damone Johnson, the tight end, out of bounds.
And that's been the trademark for New Orleans. Now, they've averaged a possession time of almost 34.5 minutes per game, while their opponents have only had it 28. So they are in their game plan. They're doing the things that they've done in the previous games and doing them well. The Rams suffering from the same problem, inconsistency.
Look at the offensive line units having a fine day. Dombrowski, 24 years of age, 27-year-old Edelman, 23-year-old Trapillo. Line. Loose ball. Saints recover it. New Orleans has the football. Greg Bell coughed it up at the 40-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. And New Orleans comes up with the turnover. Von Johnson made the hit on him and grabbed the football.
This is a one-man show. You see Bell, upper part right of your screen, comes through, switches the ball, does a good job, protects him. Von Johnson makes the hit, but he also strips the ball and then falls on it on everything else. No, don't you get it? I want it. See the hit. Now he gets his left hand in, right hand in, just knocks it loose. Keeps an eye on the ball. Manages to get it away from Johnny Poe because he wants the recovery. And does.
There he is, Von Johnson.
We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Archie Manning thinks that this young man could be one of the finest linebackers in the league.
Moved ahead of Alvin Tolles, who had been the starter last year under Jim Mora. The #1 pick in '85. Toll's a valued backup now, but Johnson has the job. Well, we don't know what the whistle's for unless they're going to check a replay on the fumble, and that may be what's going on.
Well, I can't believe that they're on an instant replay. The official's gone to the sidelines, the Ram bench, and is talking to somebody upstairs.
John Robinson's up.
8:32. Put 8:32 on that clock.
Oh, it's a time problem with the clock. Evidently, some time had wound down to 8:10, so they're putting time back on the clock, and I think it was John Robinson who pointed that out.
Every second is very important to him and his team.
You're not kidding. The Saints have the ball at the 40-yard line of New Orleans.
Well, they asked him to put 8:32 up, so the timekeeper wants to give him one more second, so they got 8:33.
Fumble recovery. You got 9 seconds on that 30-second clock.
Ben Trice had a hold of Hebert on the shirt saying, hold everything.
See, that's not right. You know, you stop the ball game when a quarterback's got 9 seconds to go. That's not one of those things that...
Turns out all right for New Orleans. Barry Word bursting through the right side. Gets all the way to the Ram 40.
Well, maybe that's something that Coach Moore ought to consider for his offense, is no huddles. Just come to the line and make the hit.
379.
First down, New Orleans. 21-yard gain by Barry Word, rookie from Virginia.
Again, poor tackling by the Los Angeles Rams. They just haven't been able to get their hands on any of the backs. Ruben Mays, Dalton Hilliard, Barry Word, they haven't been able to bring them down. Not one man has been able to bring down a New Orleans runner.
First down, Saints. Ruben Mays gets about 3 for an NFL update. Let's take you to Brent Musburger in New York. All right, Brent, the Saints have the ball here and the lead, a commanding one, 31-14, time ticking off in the fourth quarter. And they have the ball with a 2nd and 8 at the 37 of Los Angeles. Misdirection, Barry Word comes back against the grain, picks up about 5, leaving a 3rd and 2.
Coach Moore got his headset off. Jim Moore's background has been mostly in defense. Of course, you know, he was a roommate at Occidental College of Jack Kemp. Another great quarterback.
Yes, indeed.
Had a chance to visit with his son Jeff in Seattle last week, and we asked Coach Moore about some things about Jack Kemp, and he said, well, he's a nice guy. And he is.
He wasn't going to give any secrets away.
No way.
3rd down and 2. Play action. Flag down. Hebert getting lots of time and can't find a man. Now goes out to Hobie Brenner. Got the first down yardage to the 27-yard line.
That's probably going to be holding against the Saints.
And it is.
Good fake by Hebert into the line. Throws the defense. Didn't have what he wanted. Great
Offensive
patience.
holding number 61. 10 yards, 3rd down.
Hilgenberg, the center, gets the holding call. Well, earlier today, Philadelphia beat Washington 31-27. The Redskins falling to 6-2. And look at this, as Brent just described, Detroit ahead of Dallas, and St. Louis over Tampa Bay. That's a final earlier today. So the Skins on top at 6-2. Dallas could fall to 4-4. Philadelphia has moved to 4-4. Giants, the Super Bowl champs, with all their headaches out of it. Dallas will be at New England. We'll be there, looking forward to that one. And the Rams will be at St. Louis. So those of you, depending on what portion of the country you live in, will see those early games. And then the Saints at San Francisco in the doubleheader. 3rd down and 11. Hebert from the shotgun. Hilliard, screen, flags down. Hilliard drags tacklers inside the 20. Flags on the play. Cromwell finally brought him down.
Dombrowski was the only offensive lineman that was back around Bobby Hebert. All of his other linemen had slid out on a screen. And Hilliard that time just ran away from everybody, including his offensive lineman.
Offensive holding number 72. 10 yards, third down.
Well, Jim Dombrowski was the only guy left back there, and the reason was because he was holding on to somebody. You'll see him on the right side of your screen, lined up outside. Gary Jeter comes outside of him. Now Hebert sets in the pocket. He's got a little hammer lock on Jeter, takes him down, gets the 2 points. And there's the offensive lineman sliding out in front of Hilliard.
Jim Dombrowski, effectively a rookie, was on the team last year as a #1 pick, but spent the season on injured reserve with an ankle problem. And readily acknowledged that this is really a rookie season for him. He's learning out there week by week. They think he's going to be an outstanding tackle. Hebert got a man. What a catch by Hilliard! Dalton Hilliard is having an absolutely highlight film day. Short of the first down by about a yard. Pardon me, he'll be 11 yards short. He got back near the original line of scrimmage.
On the left part of your screen, again, Hebert doing the right thing, just throwing underneath the zone, throws this one behind Hilliard. Look at that catch. Tip it up, knock it down, still picking up yardage.
This guy is having plenty of fun. 71 yards rushing, 80 yards and a touchdown catching the ball, and passed for a touchdown.
Got to consider entering a pass punt kick contest.
Yeah, he probably can kick it too.
I don't doubt it.
Hanson trying to keep the ball out, fails to do so, and it will be Rams first down at their 20. When play resumes, 5:30 remains, and New Orleans with a commanding lead. Saints lost a tough one 2 weeks ago to the 49ers, and they are looking forward to an opportunity at a rematch next week in that doubleheader game here on CBS. As it looks like they've got this one in their pocket, barring miracles from Everett and company. Greg Bell on a screen pass. Gets a first down. Greg Bell, despite the fumble earlier, he's had a fine debut for the LA Rams.
And you have to remember, he's had such a short time in the offense. Here's a guy that's been in the game since the opening play in some capacity or another, catching the ball, running with the ball, and you know, I think he's done a terrific job. He is going to give the Ram offense what they need. Now they have to find that outside speed. They need the true runner. They've got the guy who can do it, run and pass, but they need the true runner.
First down, Rams from their own 30-yard line. Incomplete. Ellard. Well, did he? I thought the ball hit the ground. Maybe not.
No, he makes a great catch.
Yes, he did. The ball popped up. Now there's a little discussion down there. The ball came off his fingers, and he may have caught it again before he hit the ground, but it looks like one of the officials is indicating that that is the case. First down. Good grab by Ellard.
Up left-hand part of your screen, he's covered by Reggie Sutton. Now there's the catch. It gets away.
Wow.
It hits his foot.
Terrific.
It bounced off his foot before he made the catch.
Henry Ellard. That's a terrific grab by Henry Ellard on the rebound.
That's a 1-foot, two-handed catch.
First down for the Rams. Now, while the replay guys are taking a look at it. Warren Schachter.
There it is on the left part of your screen. You see it hits him in the chest. Reggie Sutton does a good job. As the ball bounces down, it actually hits his foot, and he catches it in the air. That ball didn't hit the ground.
Nope.
Still not on the ground.
Real good catch. Henry Ellard, so the Rams keep their drive alive. Detroit on top of Dallas by 10 in the fourth quarter. Imagine rebounding from that loss at the hands of the Saints a week ago. A struggling Lions team, and the Cowboys with the high of their victory over the Giants getting beat. Everett trying to find an open man now, airs it out for Ellard in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Johnny Poe back there with him, number 25.
Now, they just ran out of real estate on that one. Everett, if anybody had a question about the strength of his arm, had a chance to see him throw that one halfway down the county.
Well, there's been not much to cheer for 7 consecutive losses going into last year for the regulars here. Of course, the Rams have 1 victory by the replacement team this season. And that has the fans divided here. Most of the polls and letters to the editor indicate half the fans mad at Eric Dickerson, half the fans mad at Rams management for not keeping him. That pass is complete to Michael Young, the 3-year man from UCLA, and a first down to the 29-yard line. And then the hurry up now for the Rams with 4:16. They're going to go without a huddle here at the 29-yard line. Drop play to Bell. Bell has another Ram first down.
They'll get him back up on the line again.
To the 11-yard line of New Orleans.
This is, again, a very good position for Jim Everett to learn and be able to do these things, because in games when it's going to be close, you're going to need this in your repertoire.
Going for the corner to Young, and it is incomplete as Young cut back to the post. The ball off his fingertips.
Trying to get the signal in there. That's the kind of pressure he's been under. Although he hasn't been sacked today, had 6 hurries, 1 interception, 4 batted balls, 1 knockdown, and a few drops, which really isn't on there. But Jim Everett continuing to learn. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with his ability and his poise.
Second down, Rams. Incomplete. Intended for Brown, a flag down, however, back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding against the Rams.
Likely Irv Pankey, number 75. San Francisco has now opened it up on the Oilers. There's the veteran.
Offensive holding, number 75. 10 yards, second down.
Just on the left of your screen, number 75, going up against Jim Wilkes. Actually, it's up against Pat Swilly, the linebacker. There it is. Little takedown, little trip. Lay down, fall down, make sure that your hands are away from you. Hopefully they won't call it, but they did.
Second and 20. Everett to the short man, Young, and he can't hold on at the 20-yard line.
This is what kills you. 2 turnovers, 5 drop passes, which we talked about earlier, and 5 penalties, and they've all come at very bad times. The biggest miscue being an interception after they got within 14-17 midway through the 3rd quarter. To be a good, contending, consistent football team, you can't give it up in your own end.
So 3rd down here, and the last serious gasp. Everett away from the rush. Can't find an open man, and it is picked up. Reggie Sutton returning it to the 33-yard line, his 5th interception of the season. He came in tied for the lead in the NFC in that department as one of their extra backs on passing downs. First-year man from Miami, Reggie Sutton. And we'll be back with the New Orleans Saints in the driver's seat.
That's Ricky Jackson up top to the right. There you see Reggie Sutton down the left. Reggie Sutton sees Kevin House come across, but doesn't really play Everett's eyes. He plays the ball very well and picks it off.
First down, New Orleans from their own 33-yard line. Ruben Mays hit behind the line of scrimmage by Meissner, and then got maybe a yard at most. Well, following our football activity, 60 Minutes will be coming along this evening. Those of you on the West Coast, Murder, She Wrote, and then the CBS Sunday movie, Kids Like These, with Tyne Daly. I've seen several promotions and interviews Tyne has done about that film, and it looks like it's going to be wonderful in the don't miss category tonight on CBS. 35-yard line, 2nd and 8. The Saints with the lead and the football following the interception by Reggie Sutton.
Jim Everett in a learning process.
Mays again. Cuts it inside the block of Word and gets maybe 2 out to the 37-yard line.
Reuben Mays is rushed for 144 yards against San Francisco a few weeks ago, 112 against Atlanta. He doesn't play much in this game. They bring in the other man, other in quotes, Dalton Hilliard, and he goes out and has a great day.
Mays has 81, Hilliard has 71.
And there you saw the graphic, this being the second worst defeat Coach Robinson in the history.
Well, you know, it brings me to a chance for you to philosophize after the 2-minute warning on running backs, when you have them and how you use them. Third down, and we have reached the 2-minute warning here as the New Orleans Saints are about to score an impressive win over the Los Angeles Rams. Field, Mays 23 carries, 81 yards. Hilliard 12 carries, 71 yards, plus his heroics passing and catching the ball. Joe, I mean, I just believe that if you got two guys like that, you play them both and you don't think about saying you really only need one good running back. You've got two guys, use them, and he's using them well.
Well, I think if you've got to, you can, but again, sooner or later, one guy's going to want to carry the ball more than the other guy, and then you wind up with internal problems.
Well, they don't make that decision. Third down and 6. Mind you, I suppose Eric Dickerson might have had
well, that's the point I'm trying to make, yeah.
Hilliard, first down into Rams territory at the 48. Dallas is another example with Dorsett and Herschel Walker.
That's right. You know, you're splitting time when really Herschel Walker should get his hands on the ball 30 times a game. In this kind of a game, you know, you've got Mays carrying it 23 times, Hilliard carrying it now 13 times for almost 100 yards. If you got a guy that valuable, you've got to get him the football. I think the Rams have got to figure out a way, to show you a converse of that, of how to get the ball in the hands of Ron Brown more, whether it's quick screens, whether it's short routes, whether it's out of the backfield. You got to get the ball to the game breakers. That's exactly what happened today. We've seen in this game with Dalton Hilliard. Beat you running, beat you passing, beat you catching, has done it every way possible.
He just had a 16-yard gain and adds about 4 more on first down to the 42-yard line. Well, meanwhile, up the coast, here on the left coast,
Warren Moon up to his tricks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That one not over. 27-20. Now we're going to concede this victory here to the New Orleans Saints, and that will make them 5-3 and headed toward a showdown with San Francisco next week, and the 49ers not out of the woods yet against the Oilers.
No, and I'm sure if we look around the stadium, we might see Tom Benson doing the Benson Boogie.
If you look around the stadium, you're not going to see many people at the moment.
Well, that's true, too. But he'll be the one dancing around somewhere.
That is Buford Jordan getting a chance to carry the ball over the 40-yard line. Will leave a 3rd and 3. There were 43,000 fans in attendance today in this 69,000-seat stadium, and there will probably be fewer for the next Rams home game. And most of them have gone, which makes traffic out of here a little more appealing than the normal Los Angeles situation. The New Orleans Saints with a convincing victory. Jim Mora says, let's not talk about being as good as San Francisco yet. We'll get there. The